Hey everybody, welcome to London Station. We are a baby channel just getting off our feet. And today on stream, we ended up doing a 2+ hour look over the Pumpkin Spice Quick Start. Pumpkin Spice on BackerKit now launching on February 17th. So just in a few days, it was a very timely read through, and we had a lot of great participation in chat. In any case, I wanted to trim that portion of the stream out and provide it for you uncut. So here it is in front of you. We do jump kind of straight into it abruptly. If you want to know more about the channel and what we do, that's fine. It's all going to be in the links in the bottom like every other person's stuff is. I welcome you to come look around, but definitely share this out if you're a fan of the game, if you're interested in backing it and seeing where it goes. It's something I'm looking forward to personally, and you can see my extended thoughts on the quick start starting now. Thanks. Thaddeus talking about Pumpkin Spice. Pumpkin Spice is great. The essence system, rolling mechanic is essentially the idea generator. Sure. It'll flavor things depending on how the roll goes. Yeah, that's what I was seeing because I was just looking at the backer kit for it and just scrolling through quickly. These dice that you can get, they're all symbol dice. They're not 1 through 6. So we'll see. We can get into it now, though. Unless you guys want to talk about anything else, we can just switch right on over. And I'm glad that I had a backup plan because my tech testing stream lasted all of till now. So, you want it just for the sparkly dice? Yeah. Yeah. They are very sparkly. Let's do that transition. Oh, cool. I'm learning. I did not know that it would make the source disappear if you minimize it. Now I know. Thanks, OBS. Vibe is important. Okay. Interested to see how the guide functions, GM, but mostly just on other players. Okay. All right. Well, let's dive in. And again, I know nothing, so this is also a stress test of how well I can grok something at first glance. Again, I know nothing about this. It says up here, based on Sims art illustrations. Don't know who that is, but I'm guessing that this is basically a top-down design from a vibe, which is cool. If you don't know, top-down is, I'm sure it's not unique to Magic, but the idea of Magic the Gathering, if you're talking about building a new Magic the Gathering set, top-down is when you take a concept or a theme and you build out mechanics and gameplay and balance to that theme. Like Theros, for example, was a setting about, heavily Greek influenced stuff. Innistrad as like Gothic horror was very top down influence. And then bottom up would be mechanically driven, where you're looking to have specific mechanical effects and you're looking for not filler, but you're looking to fill that out with the vibe itself. So the fact that this was based on illustrations tells me, whether I'm right or wrong, that this is a vibe based game. And I think that's cool. I think it's cool to take inspiration from something and say, is there something to gamify out of this? And again, my theories on gaming and life and everything is that, games are tools that we use to discover ourselves and identify who we are, and all that fluffy stuff that I don't shut up about. So here we go. Quick start, going along. Again, I'm not Derek. I can't tell you who all these people are, and he might not be able to either, but we'll get there someday. Let's go. And this is available for free on the BackerKit page, so I'm assuming that it's fine for me to show it all. That's my theory. So we'll start there. Grab a warm cup. See, this is important. This is why I had to go get my coffee. Thank you, Kalana. It's in the rules. Get a warm cup, get comfortable, and flip through the quick start. The magic begins here. And there's your latte. Look at that. What'd she do to her face? How to use this quick start. Cozy role-playing game, sure. You play a Coven of Witches. Okay. First thing I did not expect. I just assumed that this was going to be like a single character thing. We'll see how that develops. Who run a magical cafe. Cat scratched it. Yeah. That is the most likely. That is the most likely for the boo-boo. We've got spirit cats all over the place phasing through pumpkins. You love to see it. Designed as a tutorial to read and play together. Just playable moments of scenes. I should ask as well, because even though we're looking at a game and doing like real work, let me know if this PDF view, doing the 2-page view, is too small for anybody, if I should switch to a 1-page and go closer in on the text. Let me know. Otherwise, I will assume, and we know what assuming does. And this is actually officially a moment, ta-da, to flip over to the Discovery Core page. I'm such a nerd for this stuff, guys. I made cute branding, and I'm going to good and gosh darn use it. Up to 4 witches can play this quick start. Okay. Why did I think this was a solo game? I think it's because my friends who are really into solo games were talking about it. So that's cool. Game master, yes. Guide acts like a classic GM, interpreting the world, responding to the witch's actions. Okay. Guide takes on the role of a normal witch. Interesting. Huh. That's interesting. So the GM is kind of player plus. I need to switch to a highlighter tool as well, because that's really annoying me. Adobe, I will learn your quirks. I will master them. All right. Guide acts first to set an example, or last to leave room for the other witches during a scene. Okay. I don't know. Yeah, fine. This approach is possible because the narrative is not polarized by the GM. Single page view is better. We can do it. Yeah, let's switch it over. Thank you for the feedback. Now it's doing everything I don't want it to do. Why, Adobe? Why are you like this? It's a poor streamer who blames their tools. That's too much. No, that's actually fine. Okay. Dun, dun, dun. Besides this text to play, you only need the witch and cafe sheets, a dozen 6-sided dice. Holy crap! Is that for the whole group? I assume. It's a lot of 6-sided dice. Pencils, sheet of paper for notes. When you're ready. Okay. Very good. I do love all of the art that I've seen for this so far. I adore. I think it's fantastic. So you got your tatted up witch there. Bunnies, ducks, loons, all sorts of good stuff. Flowers. Somebody tell me what that flower is. I don't know what that is. I want to say camellia or something. I'm probably way off. I don't know what that's in reference to, Kalana. Oh, yeah, D6s, yeah. Yeah. Oh, man. Guys, we got marshmallow action. Oh, you can't see it. All right, see, this is the thing. This is the stuff I've got to learn. If you can't see what I see, then we have a problem. So I need to resize this again. Thank you for your patience while I learn how to make content. Anyway, roasting marshmallows, very important. That, I would not put that in a stew. That triple X potion thing, that does not sound like a good ingredient. And also, like, you've got a glass top cook stove, but you can just make your own magical heat there. That's pretty cool. All right. Art is all from their Instagram. They're getting new pieces for the book. Oh, okay. Cool. Well, what they've got already is great, so it's cool that they got to be immortalized here in the quick start anyway. Eating over a pot makes your former food service self shudder. Yeah, probably no comment there. Probably no comment. Food service. Today we are discovering magic one beverage at a time. Does the air seem thicker and your skin tingle as if awaiting a shiver? I like that concept. Just linguistically. The skin is tingling awaiting the shiver, not because of the shiver. I think that's cool. That's a cool subversion. If you squint, following the dance of dust motes through the light, gazing towards the shadowy silhouettes of the city, you may notice that something unusual is vibrating all around you, hidden from view. If you were a witch, you would know for sure that it is magic. Let's assume that we are witches, and let's assume we know that it is magic. World of Pumpkin Spice is much like our own, except for one small detail. Magic is real. I don't know. Magic in our world is kind of real, right? The magic of friendship. Although less vibrant than it once was and almost suffocated by technological and industrial progress, too real. Too real. Magic continues to fuel the dreams of people. For many, it's nothing more than a breath of hope in the whirlwind of everyday life. For others, it is the very cornerstone of existence. These people are called witches, and since time immemorial, they have practiced the magical arts for the good of the world. Wholesome. There's a Witch World Association. All right, all right. Okay. This is capitalized, so this is a thing. The witches who are part of this important institution officially ratify the assignment of a fount, the fulcrum of all magical power, to practitioners who accept its call, thus beginning the delicate journey of a new coven towards its realization. Okay, there's two capitalized words here, fount and realization, so those are going to come up. And there they are, founts of magic. Founts were small enchanted oases, all right. They dried up, that's sad. Now that's interesting too. They dried up not because of this rampant encroaching industrialization, but to their excessive use. So there's a story there. Depriving the land of its greatest treasure and the witches of their source of power. It's difficult to preserve these enchanted corners. Okay, so magic is real, but it's limited. Sometimes a fount is renewed and comes back to life. Okay. So they're oases of magic. Got it. And wait, hold on. The Witches Association ratifies the assignment of a fount to practitioners. So they spring up, and then they do some politics to decide who's going to be in charge of them. That's cool. Founts may be in all the usual magical places. There's more cat scratches right here on the leg. These cats are menaces. They are the true enemies of the game. In spiritual places where witches have danced and performed sacred rituals, in clearings where they celebrated Sabbaths, dreams and hopes shared over a good cup of tea. Oh, that's cool. Dreams and hopes shared over a good cup of tea may even generate a fledgling fount. All right. We're going to unpack that for a second. We have these magical founts that have been dried up because people are excessively using their magic. So now they're rare. And yet, something as simple and beautiful as two or more friends sharing dreams and hopes over a good cup of tea can kickstart and restart a magical fountain. So that is, yeah. I mean, the parallels to what I'm hoping to do with this channel are like, yeah, that's big. I didn't mention this yesterday. I may cry on stream, and that's going to be something you have to deal with because I have strong emotional attachments to things that I care about. So when you actually allow yourself to dive into something and feel things, I want to encourage that in this space because it's happening from me, and so you might as well tap into that as well if you're a sensitive person like me. That is a beautiful sentiment, and I love it. And I also love, okay, this is going to be the other thing about my content. We're not talking about mechanics here. We have not gotten into rolling dice or anything of the sort. And I would spend a good 5 minutes talking about this line because that's the kind of analysis I do when I'm reading rules. The subtext here, this line alone doesn't say it. It's in the context of the fact that these founts were dried up that makes this so powerful. And it's just what some people might think is a throwaway line on the page, but not to me. So we're doing textual analysis of RPGs, I guess, is a thing. Oh no, Adobe. Oh no. I don't know what I'm doing. Stop. Thank you. Undo. Oh man. What did I even click on? Okay, we're just going to scroll past it and it'll be fine. Everything will be I mean, I could unmute myself. That would be the thing to do. I had a hotkey for muting and unmuting, And then I was playing a game that had the map bound to the same keys, and it threw me off, and I never put a hotkey back on. Mr. Sneesums. Okay. So I think the only thing you missed is I was asking Thaddeus, are you saying people are saying the art is too similar in the project and they want more diversity, or they're saying it's not, or it's too diverse? Are you talking about are we doing, are they saying that there's too much diversity in people and identities? Because, yeah, let me know. All right. In terms of rules, the Fountain of Magic has a limited number of magic points, 10, which rise and fall based on the actions and choices of the Coven. I like this. And this makes me think even of our temple in New Dawn. Like a system to like have harmony that rises and falls based off of what we do. I think that'd be cool. Not trying to staple it onto PF2, but they want more diversity. Okay, so there isn't enough representation according to some people. Okay. Fair enough. We'll see as we keep going. Sorry, I should have highlighted that when I was addressing it. Using magic or casting spells always requires spending magic points. Fair. And the Fount's reserves are a resource shared by the whole group. I like that. I think that's cool. That's very Coven-coded. We can spend points independently, but safeguarding the Fount is a shared responsibility. If magic drops to 0, Fount risks being extinguished forever, depriving us in the world of one of the last glimmers of magic and hope still in existence, unless you have coffee and share hopes and dreams. Just make another one. I know I'm sure it's not that simple. So this is cool. I'm giving my first impressions intentionally. So to me, this says that obviously we're not playing a combat game here. This is not D&D. This is not Pathfinder. We're not going to be tracking like our health resources as individuals. So this to me says that the HP of the game is the strength of your Fount of Magic that your group is overseeing. And that may be confirmed or refuted as we go on. But that's what that tells me, is you're playing a shared group resource game, which I think is cool because it creates a different feel in play than an individualistic system. Of Pathfinder 2, people will say, it's a group game and you have to work together and collaborate to stack your bonuses and trigger the debuffs and the flat-footed and this and that. And that's kind of not necessarily so explicit in the rules. It's something you have to know and learn of the game. Whereas here, this is like, no, this is about the group. So that's all good. All right. Witches themselves, people who perceive and manipulate magic. They've developed an almost symbiotic relationship with the Founts of Magic. Okay. They can manifest their full potential only when near a fount. Okay. Yeah, that's a neat dichotomy, because the ability to perceive and manipulate magic and actually having the raw stuff to do anything with it are different, which I think is a necessity, especially with this Founts situation. You need to have something that can be at risk, to introduce tension into the game. That's why there is a consequence if your Fount hits 0. Right on. When a new Fount appears or begins the process of renewal, magic itself chooses novice witches to come live in its vicinity. Okay. What does the Witch Association think about that? That's my first question. This process begins a journey of realization for both the witches and the Fount. Okay. Look, I talked about this yesterday, that the power of games for me is about learning about yourself, learning about your friends, or engaging with new experiences. So this is another London trigger word. I love it. And it has a capital R, so it's the real stuff. Leads them towards manifesting their true potential. Love it. That runs all the way through Girl by Moonlight as well, which is something I adore about that game too. That your true potential, your true power lies within accepting yourself despite what other people do or don't think about it. All right, so forming a coven is intertwined, yes. The watchful and stern eye of the Witch World Association. Now, I wonder why they're stern. I guess there's probably been abuses or people who don't treat a Fount with the care that it requires, and then they've snuffed it out. I bet there's that's my guess. Tending to a fountain is an honor, but also a true burden. Magic's well-being depends on your choices and how they live their enchanted life together. Okay. And now we have a cafe, because you gotta. Inevitably, all living beings are attracted, even unconsciously, to the magic of the founts. I thought it was going to say to cafes. And I was like, true, fair. I love a cafe. Often ending up forming places of gathering or prayer around them. Witches who oversee these places offer visitors small delights to relax the soul. Drink or pastry. Yummy. In chat, what's everybody's favorite pastry? If I could have a pastry right now. I think I would just go with a nice, rich butter croissant right now, to be honest with you. Anyway, today, bars, restaurants, breweries, and pastry shops are just some of the ways witches have found to help founts connect with the emotions of their mediums. All right. I didn't plan this, guys. Yesterday, I literally was talking about creating a digital third space. And the power of embracing yourself and everything that goes along with it. So, yeah. The synergy is hitting hard today. It's hitting hard. People deeply interconnected with magic and who might amplify the magical power of the fountain itself. How? With empathy, active listening, and above all, a warm beverage. Capital B, beverage. I'm a beverage person. I'm not as much a food person. I'm going to see. Let's see if I can learn how to do something new. Let's see this. I'm going to make a poll. Okay. I have a problem. I have a logistical problem here. I might have to do this. Get rid of that. I've been able to create it, but I cannot find the button to actually post it. This might not be a thing to do through OBS. Why? Why are you like this? Give me the button. Ah, there it is. Here we go. Wait. Why is it grayed out? Must contain between one. Okay, get rid of that. Start poll. There we go. Yeesh. We're learning. Aren't I supposed to also choose how long the poll's supposed to run? It didn't even give me that option. I just get to choose end poll. All right. Fair enough. Do sticky buns count as pastry? Yes. To me. I mean, what does it matter what I think is a pastry or not? But yeah. I'm also getting bothered by how this is framed. So while you guys are voting on if you're a beverage or a food person, I'm going to adjust where my camera shows, because now I'm seeing actually where I'm sitting in the frame when I'm doing this. Yeah, I really just need to resize the whole thing. All right. Well, now I've done it. Fixed. Perfect. Professional. Hippo. You only drink water? That's awesome. That's actually props to you. Good for you. That's incredible. Do you drink enough water? Or are you dehydrated all the time? Okay, yeah. So maybe they're not officially a pastry, but for my purposes, for today's purposes, yeah. It counts for me. Oh, who is resisting forced to choose options? I put that there so I could sniff you out and put you on blast. Stand for something. Come on. Thaddeus, you are selling it hard, man. I'm looking forward to it because clearly you're like, oh, you're saying all the things. You're saying all the things that will make you love this other thing. So I'm looking forward to it. You almost drink your daily recommended amount. Okay. Room for improvement. I mean, I have no room to talk. I certainly don't. I try. I always feel better when I do. Oh, no. Multiple forced to choose option choosers. Good Lord. All right, I don't even know how many people we have in here because I'm not that sophisticated, so I'm going to wrap it up. End poll. Oh, I didn't vote. Do I get to vote? It doesn't let me vote? Well, I would have chosen beverage and we would have had a three-way tie, so there you go. I like good food. I do. I enjoy it. But ultimately, for me, it's just like food is fuel to me. So good, bad, or otherwise, I just kind of it is what it is. I know that horrifies some people, but I get much more like comfort from beverages, and I don't drink anymore either. If I was having any drinks, it would probably just be wine. But warm drinks, cool drinks. I do have an energy drink problem that I've been wrestling with for years, so we'll get that fixed. We'll get that sorted out. Okay, back to the game. The cafe, precisely because it is found above or near a place of power, is the only place where witches can channel the 6 essences of magic into delicious drinks, which are then served to visitors. Right on. Very cool. I do love this art. I love all the art. She needs to focus, though. If she's doing magic, she should not be texting. So I'll just say that magic is dangerous, guys. Core rules. We're into the rules now. The essence die. To play pumpkin spice, we use normal D6 or the essence die for the game, which replace the numerical values with symbols. Okay, so we're just mapping numbers to symbols anyway, is my presumption. These symbols and the corresponding numbers are called essences. They stand for series of narrative elements, spheres of influence, and even interconnected skills. So I think it was you, Thaddeus, were saying that the dice are basically just little story prompts, which is cool. I vibe with that. Here are the 6 essences with their basic meanings. I got to go back and see at some point. Like, is this the same character that had the cat scratch on the cheek from earlier? All right, here we go. Authority. The essence of authority, shaping of reality through physical or magical force. Okay. Nature, natural world and individuals' connection to it. Okay. Empathy, human communities and the connections within and between them. Stillness, individual's deepest, most private and hidden self. Like that. Imagination, perception of the future, as well as artistic and creative flair. Cool. And finally, wisdom, perception of the past, as well as the ability to interpret personal and collective history. I like this set. This is a good set of essences. There's nothing that immediately stands out to me as like missing or a hole that should be filled. Like you have your interconnected emotions, you have willpower in the authority, you got the natural world, you've got like being at rest and being peaceful, creativity. Yeah, that seems like a good set to me. In Pumpkin Spice, we never need to add or subtract numbers. When we roll the dice, we do so to see which essences will come up. Fair enough. In the text, we often find the symbols indicating the various essences. The correspondence between symbol, name, and number is shown on our sheets. Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Then you don't have to buy the glittery dice if you don't want to. Or if you only want the glittery dice, then you can do that too. These 6 essences can provide narrative ideas during the scenes. Yeah, so they're prompting us. We have moments and days. Okay, so we have some sort of time cycle here. Predefined elements decided in advance or randomly selected by the guide. And the guide is the GM, right, guys? I think that's the name they gave it. The GM/player. However, it's designed to leave plenty of room for improvisation and for introducing new elements, rolling 1 or more essence dice. Specific moments. Okay. Roll the dice, new narrative elements. Got it. Person who rolls the... Okay, this looks important. Yeah, this is important. As always in Pumpkin Spice, the person who rolls the dice tells the story, but suggestions from other players may also be welcome. So that's kind of like a safety tool wrapped up in a guidance. And by safety tool, I mean kind of more social contract addressing. Like, hey, everybody, get on board. Like, this is not your spotlight. This is the person rolling spotlight. It's just always good when rules, whatever their social contract setup is, when it's stated extremely clearly. That's always good. Essences and action resolution. They don't only provide storytelling ideas, they're also used for resolving actions. Okay. Typically once per scene. So we have scenes, we have moments, we have days. We got to figure out what those all mean. Our witches can make tests to see which direction the story will take. The witch making the test describes the situation and their actions, then selects the trait to bring into play. All right. This is important here, and I don't know how hard people will hold to this. Because our brains are putting together this information all at once, and so it's hard to separate out moment A from moment B. But depending on how intentional this rule is supposed to be, you are supposed to describe this. I know I'm reading this verbatim. It's right in front of you. But you need to describe the situation and your actions. Then stop. That's it. Stop. You should not necessarily already be thinking of what essence you are steering towards. And again, our brains, we're not going to be able to stop them from doing that. But I'm interested to see, do you get more mileage out of this if you can arrest that thought and just think about the situation and the actions? In the same way that a lot of like PBTA games, it's about describing what you're doing and then discovering, oh, that triggered a move. You weren't necessarily supposed to be angling towards triggering the move. And then you get into the whole dichotomy of like, well, what's the player and what's the character? And should I be trying to win the game and max it out and do the thing that's going to give me the results that I want? So anyway, it's a, complicated human psychology problem. But these games are designed, I think, to sort of break down our thought processes, slow them down in some cases like this, to the effect that they cause you to be mindful and thoughtful. And they also cause you to put yourself in places you might not have put yourself if you let your prefrontal cortex put you where you want to be. Yes, with an exclamation point. Thank you. I mean, this is the level of detail. When I'm learning a game, I am picking apart the grammar and the syntax and the structure because I think it is crucially important to making the thing run the best it possibly can. If the designer and the writer didn't intend for this to be that way, then, we're just throwing darts at a board. But I tend to assume intentional word choice in the creative process, and then, therefore, I try to bring critical analysis to it when I'm studying it. I did this a lot with Girl by Moonlight, of like really diving into the verbs and like what you're supposed to do and when, and trying to navigate that brain division kind of a thing. Anyway, there was a soapbox I didn't expect to go on off of one verb or one word. All right, the guide decides which of the 6 essences is most relevant to the context. Okay, so actually I just went off on a rant and I was totally misreading this. When I saw trait here, I was thinking essence. So I stand by the spirit of everything I said, and I read it wrong. So that'll happen. Because now the guide decides which of the 6 essences is most relevant to the context. Okay. This is the essence. This is how you know that I'm doing a first look, because I didn't even jump ahead to the next paragraph to see that I was saying nothing at all. This is the essence that we need to obtain with our role if we want the test to be successful. Oh. I know we're going to find out, I'm sure, any minute now. But how many dice are we rolling? Because if you're only rolling 1, that's a 1 in 6 chance. You got a 16% chance of success here. So it's got to be more than 1, right? We'll find out. I think I saw the sheet. You have like numerical stats in each essence that tell you maybe how many you roll when you roll for it. I don't know. We'll find out. Remembering that recipe you glimpsed in an ancient alchemical culinary grimoire. Essence of wisdom. Okay, the 6 is just corresponding to the die number. Got it. Making techno-magical improvements to the coffee machine, essence of imagination. The choice of which essence is the goal of a test is primarily a narrative question. Yeah, I don't know how, with what we have so far, I don't know how it would be anything other than that, which is good. However, as we will see later, each type of witch has advantages when testing for a specific essence thanks to their magic. It is probably sometimes 1. That is true. Oh, guys. It's shout out time. So Hime Otsugi is a friend, somebody that I spent a lot of time in their streams over this last year. I'm putting you on blast, Hime. I know you don't want to be perceived, but it's okay. I have a small audience. Anyway, they're a great creator. And I found them, somebody gifted me Astro Prisma for my birthday last year. And so I was just floating around YouTube and looking up, are there any playthroughs of Astro Prisma? And that's when I found Hime's channel. And I don't even think I came into any of your live streams for a good long while, because I was just basically listening to the Astro Prisma VODs on my commutes back and forth to work. And so then, I was doing my own playthroughs of Astro Prisma, which we will talk about Astro Prisma on this channel for sure. But yeah, they've got a great community and just an awesome, well-rounded, friendly, loving, welcoming person that has been there for me through tough times. So, like I said, I will probably cry on stream about anything, and I can feel it coming now with this one, but I won't. I'll hold it together. Hime's great. There's already a link to their channel in our Discord in the VTuber post that Hippo made. So if you ever want to go hang out with them, they do a ton of solo TTRPG content, and yeah, just a cool person. Cool person. I could say more, but we'll leave it there. They don't want to be perceived. Sorry, Hime. Oh, they also do minis, Kalana. So they will do co-working streams, which is where I stole the idea from. Painting for, I forget the name. The Spectral dudes from wow, my brain just completely shut off. The thing with the ghosts. Not the space one, the other one. Yeah. Age of Sigmar. Something. Yeah. So, yes. Well, you know what, Hime, you like I've said, and I will say over and over again, I went through a time. Yes, Age of Sigmar. I got there in the end. I did. And whoever the Nagash people are, whatever the ghosty Nagash people, Night Haunt. God, thank you. I was struggling there. But back to this. Yeah, Hime, you've been there for me through a really tough time. Just as a place to come and just be, whether I needed to be distracted from anxiety or whatever the case may be. So it's been a heck of a year, and this year I'm hoping is going to be quite different. So thank you. Good to see you, and buckle up. We're about, well, we're only 17 pages into 62 of this quick start. This is my first read through, so I'm literally taking the journey sentence by sentence, because that's how I like to do it. All right. Back to it. Love this art. I can't say enough about it. Okay. Let's. I'm just a sniffly person. That's just the way it is. Test outcomes. Tests have two possible outcomes, favorable or unfavorable. If we obtained all the essences required by the test, the outcome is favorable. Okay, so we can have multiple. This tells me we can have multiple essences we need to hit to pass. The situation takes a positive turn and things go well. Unfavorable. Yeah, 2025 can go straight in the trash. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited to be here too. It's been, I haven't landed flat on my face yet, and hopefully I won't. I mean, if I do, that's fine. I'll just pick myself back up and keep going. But so true. So true. Yeah. Good people. There's good people out there. All right. If we didn't obtain all the essences required by the test, the outcome is unfavorable. The situation takes a turn for the worse and things go badly. Person who rolled the dice describes, yeah. Accepting suggestions, yes. So this is a little bit writer's room. I know some people hate writer's room games. I like them, so that doesn't bother me at all. We can also briefly consider the specific combination of essences generated by the test before narrating the outcome. Fair. You're just making an amalgam of the outcomes you get. except when we cast a spell, the outcome does not necessarily entail the success or failure of a specific action. That's really important. That is really important. Okay. This game is separating out the concept of favorable, unfavorable on one axis and success, failure on another. So it is giving you latitude and permission to have the entire spectrum of success at a cost, all those concepts that come from, that have been expressed in other games. But that's just really important. If people come to this thinking binary, pass, fail, that is not what we're doing here. These outcomes describe more generally the direction the story is taking, and it is up to the players to narrate in detail what they entail. Traits and tests. Okay, here's the traits. This is what tripped me up earlier. Each of our witches is defined by 6 traits, narrative labels that tell something about them. Oh, I did see this on the sheet. This I'm really excited about. Here we go. Gives an idea of how they prefer to deal with situations. When making a test, we visualize the scene. Yeah. Describe what we want to achieve. Okay. How we intend to act. Yes. And then choose which trait to bring into play. Okay, so this is the part where the player is making the choice. I was wrong earlier when I went on my rant. So this is kind of custom approaches, basically, if I'm not mistaken, because I looked at the character sheet just briefly, and they were written in. So they might be chosen from a list, but they might be freeform. So you're basically creating freeform approaches in this game, which I love. I love approach design in RPGs, just as a break from kind of the standard like stats and actions. Each trait is associated with a number between 1 and 3. Right. Okay, I did see this on the sheet. This is its realization level. Man, this game is hitting all of my buttons. Like all of them. I'm glad that I decided to look at this today. A score that generally shows how fundamental that trait is to the witch and how competent they are in it. When we make a test, 1d6 plus 1d6 for level of trait. Okay, so there's our answer. 2 to 4 dice. I'm tempted to go into a spreadsheet right now and do the math on that, but I'm not gonna. I'll do it later. About your success percent chance. So you do think they are freeform? Okay, cool. Well, which I love too, because I'm looking down the pipe of getting Legend in the Mist in the mail when they finally wrap that up. And that's about as freeform as you get with creating characters in a game. So I'm down with it, 100%. Oops. What if we don't have any traits to bring into play? What does that even mean? I can read this question in a couple different ways, but I'll finish the paragraph first. It might be better to reimagine how we plan to change the situation, choosing an approach more suited to our witch and their traits. Oh, that's big. But if we really have no other options, we can still roll a single d6. Okay. So this is your, not that this game attracts this type of player, but, to the player that's just always trying to use the one thing they said they're good at and try to shoehorn it into being relevant every time they try to do a thing. It's like, no, it's actually possible, entirely possible in the rules here, that nothing that you have as a trait applies here. And this is giving the GM latitude to be like, no, you got nothing to this. So either change what you're doing in the fiction. The rolling of dice only happens when the fiction lines up with what you're trying to do. Or they're like, yeah, just take a single d6 and you got your 16% chance of success. Good luck. So that's cool. I like that spelled out as well. Yeah, it's the Wawid. The what are we even doing here? Yeah. Again, like I said, this is not the sort of game that's going to attract that type of player, but that doesn't mean that you might not, put a table together with friends and have people who, don't have different experiences or don't expect anything differently. So that's just a nice guardrail. And we're on to the witches. All right. How's everybody doing? Taking a break, trying to pace myself, learn how this whole stream thing works. I also don't know how can I do multiple things at once. I have all 3 screens going today. Checking on some things. Those players will probably be, if not the name of the game, the tagline. Pumpkin spice has a broad cultural appeal, so you never know. But cozy magical RPG, that's a little more, you know if that's your people or not. All right. Just making sure I didn't have anything blowing up over here. Okay. Onward. Our witches. A call is faint. Ooh, that's a trigger word. If you're a changeling, a call is not a good thing. The call is faint as a half-remembered dream brought us here one by one near a magical fount that whispers our names. Before arriving, we really thought we were fully fledged witches. Interesting. The misguided youth. Now faced with the purest form of magic, we just know we were wrong. There's so much to learn about our nature and about the fount we have decided to protect. Right on. Right on. Potato chips and braiding hair. Everybody knows that. Why are these cats in a bin? Somebody think of the poor cats. Oh, that's funny. We've got 6 traits. We know that. Novice witches only have traits at level 1. Fine. Yeah. Creating witch is easy. Answer short questionnaire. We have pre-built witches. Okay. Guide chooses a witch but does so last. Fair. Write down their traits and essences. Okay. So there are are these are the pre-builts basically. Yeah. Because these things are selected for you. Okay, so Green Witch, magic is all around you. You have an incredible storyline. If it fits. If 10 ghost cats fit in a bin, you will find them there. Magic is all around you, and you have an incredible sensitivity that lets you perceive it in the lush splendor of nature. Very good. Now, wait, hold on. Did I miss something? Why is there a specific essence being called out? Oh, there is a connected essence thing. Okay, so there's going to be more on that in a bit, I bet. Coven Witch, born and raised surrounded by fellow witches. Yes. Companionship is the thing for you. I have not played Kariko. I don't even know what that is. Is that a video game? Is it a role-playing game? Is it a song? I'm classically uncultured in so many ways, Hime. There's so much that I don't know. Don't get me started on movies I've never seen. Those always throw people. Fight Club, never seen. Titanic, never seen. You know, lots of things people assume everybody's seen. We've got a secular witch. I wonder what they mean by this. See, I would have thought, okay, that's the creativity one. The witch that locks themselves in the room and does creative stuff. What does it actually say? While other witches are typically more interested in the spiritual aspects, for you, the application requires practicality. Okay. Satisfaction of craft work. Got it. Ooh, solo duet TTRPG about being a witch. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, and straight into something I haven't seen. I know about it, though. I do know about it. I do know the names of Studio Ghibli films. My brother probably still is, huge into all the Ghibli stuff. So I think the only Ghibli films I've seen are Totoro and Nausicaa. And I've also seen, is Mononoke a Ghibli? It is, isn't it? So I've seen 3. Not bad. Oh, and Spirited Away. I guess I've seen more of those than I thought. Huh. Let's see. Yeah, so this is your crafty artistic witch. Again, these are just pre-built, so it's not like these are classes or playbooks. Traditional witch. So you're the studious one, I'm assuming. Studying the magic. Yep. Pursue knowledge, yes. Like to do it the old-fashioned way on crumbled papers and dusty tomes. After filling out the sheets, we'll visualize them, imagine the traits, give them names. They're young only in terms of their magical journey, but they may be older in years. Sure. I like that. I like the idea of having a diverse age group in a coven, which reminds me of Agatha all along the Marvel series, because they were all over the spectrum. More cute art. Why does the bottom of this freezer say push on it, though? These These are the big questions. Magic and dice. Each witch is connected to a specific essence. You can spend... Okay, all right. So if you are connected to the essence, after seeing the outcome, you can spend magic to do stuff. Transform one of the essences obtained into the essence we are connected to. I don't know what that means. Let's find out. For example, a vending machine. I mean, who doesn't want a vending machine? Food people, right? All of you that voted for being food people instead of beverage people. A traditional witch is connected to, I forget the name they give to this. They roll 2d6 for a test and get, forget the name they give for this, and forget the name they give for this. If the goal of the test was this thing, the witch can spend 1 magic point to transform one of the 2 essences obtained into the book. Okay. I read that out loud, but I didn't process any of it, so I'm going to read it again to myself. All right. Okay. Got it. Okay, I understand. Transform one of the essences obtained into the essence we are connected to. Got it. So you're just changing one of your d6s to the result that aligns with your essence. Hoi! I don't know why I struggled with that so hard. Transform the essence into another essence of a choice. Okay, so you can go from yours to another one. Cool. I also love how this rules text can just say, if the target of the test was cute black cat. That's how my brain reads that. Remember to always describe how to use the magic. Describe how the use of magic manifests. It will be invisible to mundane people, but not to other witches or supernatural creatures. We can use magic to manipulate the results of the dice multiple times on the same test, but each time we must spend 1 magic point. Yeah, you probably only want to do this in some extreme situations. Maybe not extreme, but important. Whatever's like important to your character, because these magic points, right, are the points of the fount, which there's only 10, and if you go to 0, bad things happen. So, an extraordinary power, but one that progressively drains the fount we have sworn to care for and protect. Yup. Cat clouds. There's your vending machine right there. All right, the cafe. After getting to know each other, we set about exploring the ruins of what would become our cafe. On the counter lay a strange aged letter covered in a layer of dust and cobwebs, as if it had long awaited us. A strong magical residue still lingered on the grainy surface of the paper, tinged the scent of belladonna. I've never seen tinged used in that way before. Interesting. A welcome, but also a warning. Here we go. Here's the World Witch Association. I love how this is kind of bureaucratic too. You know, not to necessarily draw contrast to the other fantasy juggernaut that need not be mentioned. I like how this is kind of like corporate. Dear witches, welcome to your fount. It may look unimpressive now, but you have free reign to develop it according to your inclinations, as well as a small magical reserve to rely upon. If the magic of this place has called you, we trust that it made the right choice. If not, we shall soon find out. It seems like they should have a way to vet that, if I'm honest. We recommend extreme caution in using the power of the fount. It would be most unfortunate to discover that a band of immature witchlings had managed to drain it before it could manifest its glorious beauty. That's super passive-aggressive. And do not even think of disturbing us with some kind of magical incident, in all caps. Like, we're supposed to know what that means. Because you are perfectly capable of managing this cafe, right? Man, there's some, like... I don't know if it's just me picking up Gen X parent energy there. In hopes that our direct intervention will never be called for, we wish your coven every success. Which World Association? That's cute. Handwritten signature replaced by enchantment in accordance with Article 62, Paragraph 7 of Legislative Decree number 88 of 1692. Is that a Salem Witch Trials date? Is that an Easter egg? Anybody know when Salem Witch Trials were going on? That feels like a thing to me. It's been a few days since we met and discovered the elusive Wawa, armed with brooms, stripped away the dilapidated appearance from what would become a cafe. Stay, roll up your sleeves. Love it. Yeah, this is fun because now as a group you can just make your little base of operations. Where is our fount found? And then you got some choices. I'm guessing these are prompts, but you can do whatever you want. They did start in 1692. Oh, snap. I nailed it. Oh, that was a good moment. I got a point in the imaginary scoreboard of life. In the middle of the countryside, in a small village, in a crowded city. Love it. What do we think about this? The decision has narrative value rather than a mechanical one, but of course, based on this choice, the context of our sessions will change significantly. What would we all prefer? You gotta shout out to the cute box face over here. It's a happy little box. I could do a whole stream just looking at this art. I'm trying not to. Now that we have a clear idea of the context, time to personalize it. Okay. We're going to take all sorts of inspirations here. Very good. Don't need to worry about defining the layout. Unless you're me. As I was literally just like redrawing the layout of our temple in our Pathfinder game. I'm like, I need to know where the bedrooms are. I need to know who's sleeping where. It's going to change how I exist in these scenes. So yeah, you don't need to. Some people like it though, and let them create for your game. The important thing is we all contribute. Okay. What's the cafe called? Very good. Cafe has a sheet, and the vibe score shows how welcoming it is. Okay. Ranging from 0 to 6, influenced by and affects various elements of the game. Cool. I like that. So you're trying to maintain the magic and the mundane, which I like. And again, that's another thing that's a tension, a push and pull in Girl by Moonlight and many other games. But having it be that the mundane side of your life is still important and something that this game right now is telling you this has a mechanical weight to it. So this is part of the desired gameplay, is for you to consider what it means to be magical and mundane. I like it. You start at 3. Okay. Room to grow. Got grand opening. I'm going to start kind of breezing through what looks like kind of the quick start itself. We're going to experience the game's first moment. Okay, we saw this quite a while ago, and it was capitalized, so I knew this was coming. Focused. Okay. A scene, or at most a handful of scenes. Vibe is super important. Very good. Scene or handful of scenes with specific mechanics focused on an explicit goal. Okay. So you might call these a mission in another game. They can relate to unique situations or distinct categories. Oh, interesting. Usually those would be split out into a separate type of thing, in my experience. The sequence of moments depends partly on chance and partly on player choices. Okay, fun. Managing storytelling. We take turns. We do emotions, thoughts, and actions. Very good. Spotlight is popcorn, basically. Yes. Okay. This is good. I'm gonna talk about this for just a second. It seems kind of pretentious to describe role-playing as a skill. But if you admit that it's something you can get better at, then it's kind of hard to classify it as something other than a skill, right? And right on, Thaddeus. Thanks for hanging around. It's good to see you as always. So there are individuals who have developed this skill or who might have it more naturally than others, and there are players who might struggle with some of this. And so we're assuming here a player who genuinely wants to interact with what I'm just loosely right now, I'm not going to get into a definition war, calling role-playing. Some players don't want to interact or interface with that, and so those are not the people I'm talking about. But the people that genuinely want to, I love this framing of turning to them and giving them an open-ended question. That is always a tactic that you can employ when you have people in a game. You can tell they want to be engaging with the role play in a way that they see maybe somebody else around the table, but there's some block there. There's something not happening for them, and they're trying to put themselves into the headspace of their character, but it's just not coming to them. I love that. Open-ended questions. And sometimes that's not enough too. Sometimes there are people who are just very rote and mechanical in like how they interact with games. and they might need a little more help, assuming they want it, to kind of break out of that. So if the open-ended questions don't do it, then it starts to become about suggestions. I don't like getting to that point so much, because then you're starting to put your narrative bias onto them, and if they're the sort that will kind of roll over and take whatever gets suggested because they hate that they're like being the moment of the spotlight in the moment, and they're just like, whatever, I'll do whatever just to make everybody stop looking at me. That's the risk of going that way. But anyway, when it's our turn, we narrate freely, interacting with other witches. Most moments only need one test per witch. Fair enough. Depending on what happens, we may be tempted to use multiple tests during the same moment. This is about to get important, I think. This is usually not necessary. They are competent and magical people after all, especially if we act consistently with our traits. We are able to do and make happen in the story more or less whatever we want. There you go. Use tests to answer the core questions of each moment. This is always good advice for... Well, it's good advice when it's good advice. For games that try to collapse a large amount of resolution into a single die roll, gamers coming from different backgrounds, whether they're coming from a heavily like Dungeons and Dragons, D20 base, where you're kind of... Games that interact with simulation in a way that you're rolling for every single thing you do. Like, I roll to take the rope out of my backpack. I roll to dangle the rope off the side of the cliff. I roll to climb down the rope down the cliff. That can be getting to this headspace of like, we're condensing that all into a single die roll, because that die roll has such broad power. With that die roll, you know, your essences and the traits that you're invoking, you're narrating an entire scene almost, or a part of a scene. So it doesn't have to be about every little thing you do. And this also kind of runs up against, there are people, most of us actually, who really like rolling dice because it's fun, and dice are unpredictable, and they create realities. They like reveal new realities in front of us as the numbers and the symbols come up. They take like a quantum state of what could be, and they condense it into a single point of what is. So rolling dice is fun, and that's why you need explicit guidance sometimes in systems that are like, this is not about rolling a ton of dice all the time, just putting that out there. But rolling dice is fun. We like it. Question, therefore, the goal we face is how best to prepare a grand opening for our venue. You can choose how to improve the vibe just before or during the opening. I wonder if this is just for the quick start, or if this is a presumption of the whole system, that you're always starting with opening the cafe. They do go burr. They clack and they glisten, and sometimes there's sparkles in them, and sometimes they have... I actually went and bought myself an entire set of dice, which I don't normally do, just to play Astro Prisma, and these have the little glow-in-the-dark specks in them. So I can charge these up under a light, and then it's not like I'm ever playing in the dark, but, you know, it's still cool because they look like little stars and nebulas when I roll them. Yes, dice are fun. We like the plastic and the resin and the metal. So we're doing an opening. There are, and the reason I mention this, I don't know if this is assumed to be the case in all playthroughs of Pumpkin Spice, or if this is just a quick start thing. Because Girl by Moonlight is very strong when it says we start in the second season. It's like, hey, look, we get it. You know, you've all known each other. We're going to get straight to the action. Like, backfill it in as you need. Let's get to it. So I'm curious if that's something you could easily adapt that to this. Just blow past this if you want to. Probably worth playing through once at minimum. Okay, so we might have crafted tables and furniture in an unmistakable style. Breathtaking decorations. I love this. I love all of this as inspiration. As a player reading this, it would get my head kind of thinking like, oh, like what kind of things can we do? Yeah, dice are fun, but there has to be a balance or it gets tedious fast. Well, I know you play a lot of games that you're rolling a lot of dice. At least that's the way it appears. When you guys are playing Rift Breakers, doesn't that have quite a fair amount of dice rolling? Because you're doing contested rolls and all sorts of stuff. Maybe I'm off on that. I tune in. You might know. I tune in for the vibes. I don't always necessarily pay attention that close to what you guys are actually doing. I just like to hang out and be a smartass in chat. Stage a musical or poetic performance? Heck yeah. That's me. Me. That's great. We're like halfway there, guys. We've only been doing this for an hour. So what do we want to do to make the grand opening truly special? Does anyone have ideas? Cool. So again, this is guiding us through that first moment, and I'm sure there's a lot of good GM advice in here to prompt. And you're going to do roughly, I think it said 1 test per witch. So let's assume we have a table of 3 witches plus the GM witch, so 4. We're starting at 3, so we could end up at 0 or 6. Black Oath has quite a bit of dice rolling. Yeah. Yeah, I know you play all sorts of different things. Didn't we get into a conversation once about like flowcharts, like obscene flowcharts, going back to like the grapple rules from 3rd edition and something else? I thought you were a big fan of long, tedious flowcharts, procedural stuff. When the mood suits, of course. Table talk and narrative. Okay, so this is going to be important. In Pumpkin Spice, however, these questions and comments are central to the play experience and can be managed directly from the witch's point of view. Interesting. I don't know how I feel about this, to be honest with you. I was expecting this to immediately tell me, like, yeah, it's totally cool to talk above the table and just make sure everybody's on the same page. But this is actually encouraging the players not to do that, unless I'm misreading it. Let me read it more closely so I don't make a fool of myself again. Pumpkin Spice, these questions and comments are central to the play experience and can be managed. So we're going to go language again. Can be managed directly from the witch's point of view. So, okay, they're not like being heavy-handed, but they're like, hey, you have an opportunity to try and couch this in the perspective of your character. So maybe challenge yourself and do it. It's not being prohibitive, not necessarily. Yeah, 3 grapple rules are a thing. I was at a point in time trying to teach Pathfinder 1st edition to my brother and my sister-in-law and like their group of friends. And my sister-in-law wanted to play a crafting character, so then I like made this entire multiple note card reference guide for her because I had to take the rules and like break them down into like, you want to craft something, okay, find what level it is, okay, find the challenge like rating for it. Yeah, I was very happy when Pathfinder 2e became a big thing. Okay, Kalana, can I share a story about this? So this is a New Dawn story about Hanlon and Vafi. So Hanlon was my character who started out when the game started. So he's been in the game from the beginning. I think he's actually the only day 1 character left. Maybe. But he was like, I don't know, at this time he was like 10 levels higher than Vafi, which is Kalana's cleric. And we were chatting about, I don't remember what you were trying to find out. It was, I think, around the time that they returned that necromantic statue, and he was like, I'm going to stash it somewhere, don't worry about it. And you were like, I want to try and figure it out, but like there's no way because his deception or his perception DC is too high. So mechanically, I can't figure this out. And I was like, she could just ask him in the scene. That was one of my favorite moments. I love that story. Safa was like day 6. Yeah, Min's character Safa came in. It was like maybe day 2 or something like that. It was just a couple days after we started. Yeah. And then you were there like day 30, so which sounds like a long time away from the start, but like no, it's a 3.5-year-old game, so. All right. To ease this type of immersion, you can consider most of the game's terminology as in-game elements, meaning that our witches can freely talk about essences and the names of each working alone or together spells, etc. Yeah, okay. That's actually an interesting way to solve it, is like just completely blur the lines between the table in real life and the actual game. Just use the language of the game when you're doing it, and you will inherently be talking as if you are your witch. Yeah. All right, so we're going to do, so we've got examples. We're going to skip examples. We're all savvy folks around here, and we know how to read, so you can read that on your own. Moment number 2. Okay, so these are, so I was right. This is playing you through the quick start, but just explaining the mechanics as we go. So let's find what mechanical thing we're introducing here. This is a special type of moment, rush hour. So this might come up more than once then. This might be recurring. So you're setting the scene. Oh, that's cool. I like this. I like this a lot. To start rush hour, the guide rolls 1d6 plus 1d6 for each witch in play, including the guide. So it's going to be table size plus 1. The essences that come up represent the mood of the customers and their requests, as well as the essences we must try to obtain while working together. So these dice, this essence system, they're not only generating the resolutions to scenarios, they're also generating the scenarios themselves, which you might expect, but I still think it's neat and worth a shout out. This moment needs a slightly different resolution than the earlier one. We got to work together. Okay, so we're introducing group tests basically here. Let's decide who will lead and roll. Okay. Oh, interesting. Whoa. So the leader rolls the initial dice for the setup up here, and then everybody else contributes, and they give the dice to the person leading the test, and that person gets to roll all the dice. So, I just imagine a table like fighting over like, I want to roll the pile of D6s. I want to lead the test. We may use our magic according to the normal rules, but we can use it to transform any of the dice rolled, not just the ones we contributed. Cool. Yeah, that makes sense. So again, if you have the essence of nature, I think it's called nature, you can now turn anything to nature or anything from nature to something else in the entire pool of the entire group. So that seems like it would have a pretty high success rate. Of course, you have to spend magic points to do that. So again, it's not without cost. Given the outcome of the test, the person in charge describes what happens while the other witches can add some finishing touches about their contributions. Yes. If you go favorable, vibe goes up. Unfavorable goes down. Yeah, and vibe is only maxes out at 6. I don't think it said yet what happens if vibe hits 0. Did it say that? Hold on, I'm going to try and go back if I can even find it. No, it did not. Great, now I've got to find what page I was on. Great. Okay. There are 4 witches in play. Okay, we're doing examples. I think we got it. We got it. We know how this works. More amazing art. First medium. Okay, this is the part I'm reportedly going to love. All right. Mediums are people with a unique connection to the fount. There are many theories about why that is, but even veteran witches admit there are no certainties. Many believe that a spark of the fount dwells within its mediums, or that mediums allow the magic to act upon the surrounding world. Certainly. Oh no. Certainly mediums are drawn to their fount, arriving there in search of something they didn't know they needed. That's a high-level consequence. The Karen score. The Karen score starts to go up. It's a negative clock that ticks up once you hit 5-0. That's brutal. You have to exercise them. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. A medium has just entered the venue, but who are they? You can roll an essence dice and see what comes up. Okay, so the essence die will tell you some of the vibe of the medium. You describe them together. The person who rolled has the final say. Creates a connection between them and the fount. Are these mediums allowed to be cats and mascots? Because that's the vibe I'm getting here. Like your cafe has, the one magical cat. That's the link to all the magic below it. With the right combination of essences infused into a tasty beverage. There we go. So who's making... Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. Each beverage is composed of 3 magical ingredients, besides its mundane elements, special spices and aromas that can capture and release a specific essence. Mapping is as follows. Oh, that's cute. That's cute, and I like it. Each essence is mapped to a fun ingredient like starry ginger. Oh, I want some starry ginger. All right. Pantry is simple. We have 3 doses of each ingredient. I hope this means something to somebody. Actually, I know I've attracted a pretty decent group of Draw Steel fans, come to think of it. So I'm putting that up on the screen for those of you that know what this means. We have 3 doses of each ingredient. Okay, so there's an inventory management here. You don't just have unlimited stuff. That is good to know. You have medium and ingredients. How do we know which beverage to prepare, you ask? Discovering which. Guide stops playing their witch and instead plays the medium. Okay. I mean, they could probably maybe do both, I guess. I don't know. The other witches can interact with the medium in turn. They can consult each other as much as they want. They may only interact with the medium a number of times equal to 1 plus the vibe score of the cafe. Fair. It's how long you can scritch the cat before it claws your hands. Got it. Understand. OMG, I thought you said starry gender, and I was all like, hell yeah. Hell yeah. That's what this whole channel is starry gender. That's what we're here for. Actually, I did mention just like casually in yesterday's stream that I identify as gender fluid, but I refused to explain and simply continued on. For people who are wondering about pronouns and everything for me, I am tipping my toe into the water of they, them. I'm not going to be upset if you use he, him. I won't be upset if you use she, her either, because sometimes that's fun and it makes me feel different things. So anyway, nobody needs to stress over it. I will tell you when I will become brutally exacting about it someday in the future, which will never come. But anyway, thought that would be worth saying. Don't worry about it. It's all good. Let's see. Okay, I was saying, okay, they may only interact with the medium a number of times equal to 1 plus the vibe score of the cafe. So does that mean in this scene itself? Because that seems like a lot. Or is that the entire group? That's got to be the entire group. So you start at 3. You went through the earlier moments. Maybe you're at 2 or maybe you're at 4 now. But let's just assume you're still at 3. Actually, come to think of it, there is no outcome that keeps the vibe score the same. It's always either going up or down. That's good to know. So you have 4 interactions, roughly. Join me in Thempress land. Yeah. Maybe. I got it from the context. When it reaches 0, the medium will want to receive their beverage. No pressure, but the next questions will be crucial in gaining the medium's trust and preparing the right beverage. There is no set list of interactions. It's up to the witches to understand what the medium is looking for, interpreting their answers and comments. Is this something you can get right or wrong? Did I miss something? Or is this just like playing out really, really strong vibes for this character? I'm probably getting ahead of myself again. All right, the guide plays the medium. Witches step aside. Oh, their witch steps aside, busy with other tasks. So that's why, because it's a shared knowledge issue. That's why their witch goes off to the side. Because the guide is going to know what the medium wants, and they can't knowingly play a character for or against the group with that knowledge. That makes sense. I accept it. The guide is the only person who knows exactly what essences a medium is looking for. Okay. So here we go. All right. Now, minor nitpick, super minor because I'm loving all of this. I would have put this explanation like 3 pages ago. Since we're creating this medium on the spot, the guide secretly rolls 3d6 to see which essences come out. The guide then decides how those essences combine with the description of the medium made before. That's cool. So you're kind of probing and role-playing out to see if you can figure out the right essences, which also relies on the guide appropriately conveying those essences in how they're portraying the medium. But again, it's a collaborative game, so you're not supposed to try to be like, I'm going to screw over the witch coven. Ha ha ha, I'm so smart. That's not the game for that. And then here's some, I assume these aren't hard and fast, but suggestions on how you could do that. Cool, cool. Oh, wait. There's some subtext here. Okay. You guys pick this up? You see what's going on here? These reflections of the essences are showing up in the medium's deficiencies or needs, which means that the group of witches are filling those needs. That's pretty cool. I like it, because you're trying to make them the perfect beverage to make them feel happy and cozy. As the guide, your goal is to imagine yourself in the medium's shoes, giving honest voice to their needs. Love it. Don't be afraid. This is going to be tricky. Don't be afraid to give wrong answers to the witch's questions. People are full of contradictions and not easy to read. I agree. I think this is fun. I think this needs to be so overtly stated over the top of the table before you play this through. Just be like, guys, listen. You may think I'm trying to hint one way, and it may turn out that that's not where I was going with it, and I need you to just accept and not be mad about that, because the rules are saying that we want to portray this complicated character that isn't necessarily like a cardboard cutout caricature that's easy to solve with magic and friendship. So I would have that discussion before doing this. Feel free to decrease the medium's countdown when it feels right. 100%, yeah. And actually, yeah, you're the perfect person to say this, Kalana, because I know that I've struggled sometimes to represent like gather information roles in other games and systems, and this is really a squishy area of games to figure out. To match player expectations, to match player expectations to what the GM, guide, director, whatever they're called, thinks they're supposed to be doing by the rules text, and then not realizing that you have like a misalignment in what you're expecting that to be until it blows up at the table. It blows up, I say lightly, but then you're like, oh, you thought that I was going to be giving you this type of information. I thought I was supposed to be giving you this type of information. And because we're adults and we can all work together and get along, it's kind of like, that's when you just realize, okay, we had we were ships in the night here. Like, we were both trying to faithfully fulfill the rules text, and we just missed, and then we'll just rearrange. And you could do that in a couple different ways. You could either just say, well, let's do your interpretation, or hash it out and figure it out in the middle. Go argue about it on a Discord or something. But yeah, that is, that can be very frustrating. And it's one of the things that I'm probably more apprehensive about as a GM, just in general, is like making sure I'm meeting the expectations of the players who are asking the questions. So, but that's why I love Play by Post, because I can take as much time as I want to think about it if I need to. I don't know how I'd roll with it in a live play, but that's for another day to figure out. Feel free to decrease the medium's countdown when it feels right, especially when they react to the Coven's questions and interactions without focusing too much on the perfect moment. Interesting. Doesn't the countdown go down when they... Sorry for the flashing pages. They start with a countdown of 1 plus the vibe score. Those are the interactions, but then also as the guide, you can just tick the clock down. I don't know why you would do that. Okay, you picked that up too? Or are you talking about the knowledge stuff, the gather information stuff? Either way, I would be careful with that. Yeah. Anyhow, witches won't usually figure out all the essences wanted by a medium on the first try. What does that mean? We get a second try? Interesting. Is every interaction supposed to be an attempt to figure it out? I might have been reading too fast and missed something, but that's okay. Song of the Fount will call them back, and there will be other opportunities to learn more about these visitors. Okay. So, no. You are making one beverage, doing your best to try and get all 3 of the essences right, And if you don't get it right, they will keep coming back around because they're basically Taviran in the Wheel of Time, and they will keep coming back to the fountain. Or to you. I guess you're the Taviran. Whatever. Anyway, preparing the beverage. Once the countdown is ended, you prepare the beverage. You choose what 3 ingredients to use. You can use the same ingredient more than once. You would have to, because you might have duplicates in the secret essence makeup of the medium. Talk it over and choose the combination that seems best. Each correct essence has a visible and positive effect on the medium and generates 1 magic point for the fount. Let's go. That's awesome. If they guessed all the essence and prepared the perfect beverage, something unlocks in the medium as their connection with the fount blossoms. The fount gains 1d6 additional. Woo! Oh, that's good. That is cool. That is a robust incentive to engage with this as earnestly and like go hard on this as you can. Because again, your magic is going to give you your favorable versus unfavorable conditions more often than not. But you have to expend it. It's a limited resource. And favorable and unfavorable is what determines what happens to your vibe. And the vibe feedback loop plays back into the people coming into your cafe and the mediums coming into your cafe. So it's an Ouroboros here. And you want to keep the wheels turning. It's great. Okay, maybe that's 3. Yeah. Mediums are frequent customers who have some kind of connection to the fount and have some story to tell, and making the right beverage requires figuring them out. It's cool. It's very cool. It's not happy wife, happy life. Say more. What do you mean? So yeah, you can go up 7 magic points at the ceiling. Of course, you never want to play to the ceiling. It's a happy medium cat, happy life. Yes, okay, gotcha. There's a lag. There we go. The chat comes in faster in the actual chat before I can actually highlight it. That is the implicit play cycle. Yeah, it's a virtuous play cycle. Vibes beget vibes beget vibes. More examples, and I'm sure I would learn this better if I actually read the examples, but I'm skipping them like a silly person. Let's get some flavor here. Enjoy the music with a warm cup in your hands. If cinnamon is in the air, which it always is, the night is going just right. Cookies are an essential part of the experience. They may say it in the full rules, but the fact that they don't say it, that is job security for me, because then I get to say it on a stream. So that's all right. Oh, is it not? Oh, because you get 1 for each one you get right, then plus another d6. Each correct essence generates 1. Yeah, so you're either getting 1, 2, or 3 plus d5. No, 3 plus d6 because it's additive. Yeah, that's a big swing. 9 points. Dang. You could refill the whole fount if you're lucky. The first, is this, I don't know this font that well. Is that a U? The first UME? First exciting day of work is finally ending. This is your first day? Medium's not wasting any time. You had to ask the designer on stream, and he was like, yeah, that's right. I just didn't say it. Yeah, that's fine. That's why, you can iterate. Amy is in shambles right now, Kalana. Absolute shambles. Can't believe you would say that. All right, World Witch Association again. Oh, convenient. In our first letter, we may have omitted a crucial detail. I love how they're like, the first letter, they're just like, hey, it would really be a shame if you screwed this up. And then the next day, they're just like, oh, by the way, we left out some details. This group, I tell you. The magic of this fountain attracts a wide variety of spirits. Sick. Allows them to manifest in the physical world. Holy crap. That could be dangerous. Or fluffy, if it's a cute cat. We're sure there's no need to explain how problematic this could be for our respectable association. Jeez, these guys. I genuinely love the vibe that they've given to this organization, but they're so annoying in like all the best ways. We therefore encourage you to take the necessary precautions when necessary. In extreme cases, the use of a prompt glamour spell should do the trick, provided you can use it. Beware of cats. What? They're so fluffy. And we're invoking again Article 62, Paragraph 7. Consistency. Bureaucracy. Gotta have it. Okay, UME, unexpected magical event. Interrupts the daily flow of life in the cafe. These events occur randomly once per day. They have a more fluid structure than other moments and can become quite complex. Randomly and usually once per day. Right? Okay. The guide is going to prep these. You can rely on pre-constructed situations or make your own, probably. This is going to be your bestiary, more or less. In our story, the event is caused by a group of spirit cats that got let out of the box, possibly. Attracted by the sudden vitality of our fount. They're moving around the room, disappearing and reappearing. Oh no. Oh no, spirit cats. Can we just let them take over? Yeah, kingdom events. You know, they're good enough as prompts, kind of, maybe. These creatures are usually friendly and invisible to mundane eyes, but recent magical fluctuations around the fountain have made them hyperactive and even semi-visible. Ugh. Fortunately, the glamour spell should solve the situation. Spells are special uses of magic. Okay. Oh, I wonder if there's mechanics for this. They can be discovered or invented by witches. I wonder if this means invented just in the fiction. Whereas, you know, maybe you discover a spell that exists, or you say, oh, I invented this, but that's just a fictional trapping. Or if there's actual, surely they're more well-written than kingdom events. We'll see. Or if you can actually, if there's actually a magic crafting system in the full rules, or here. Most experienced can cast spells working alone. We should probably be working together with the entire coven, though. Yeah. Specific combination of essences to be activated correctly, as well as spending magic points. Yeah. Ooh, spell cards. That's cool. Is that part of the Kickstarter? Does anybody know? I'm going to pull it up. Because that just screams like add-on. Scrolling. We've got our glitter dice. Yes, there are cards of some sort here. And a vinyl record. And a t-shirt. And a tote bag. And a diary. And a chalkboard menu thing? That would be cool if that was the GM screen. Wonder if it is. Yeah, I should be showing this on screen right now, but I can't be bothered. Sorry. I'm still learning. I'm still getting better. I think I put the link in my Blue Sky post, so you guys can get there. And I'll put it in the description of this stream, because apparently I turned this into a 2-hour pumpkin spice stream. Who knew that was going to happen? Okay, so we have our title. Essences required for favorable. Sure. Magic point cost. Interesting. Casting requirements. If these conditions are not met, successfully casting glamour requires the following essences. Not sure I have all the context I need for that just yet. Spell description. Is this just flavor text, or does this matter? A useful spell that reinforces the natural enchantments hiding magical effects or creatures from the eyes of mundane beings, making them invisible and almost imperceptible, ideal for preventing magical incidents. We want that. We want to prevent those incidents. Generic spell, any witch can cast it. Okay. That implies non-generic spells that not any witch can cast. I'm excited to see what that looks like. When casting it, you spend a magic point outright, not just in resolving it. And you have to get the essences. And again, we have to remember, favorable and unfavorable do not mean success or fail. So there's the possibility that the spell is successful in a way that is less than ideal. If the casting conditions are not ideal, the test requires more essences to succeed, as explained in the spells card. Right. I got that here, but I don't think I know what this means. Which conditions? We got to figure that out in the rules. Which conditions do we still have to meet? So we'll find it here. If we don't intervene promptly with the spell, the cats will become increasingly tangible, not the increasing tangibility, and continue to run amok until the last customers notice them. 1 spirit cat for every 3 magic points in the fount. Oh, brutal. The fact that there is more than one is an added problem. Glamour's area of effect is limited, and we will need to gather the cats close together for it to work as its best. Okay. Now, this seems like guide interpretation. Or when you're creating the UME, the unexpected magical event, you would kind of create this as like the condition card. Kind of the steps you would need to check off in order to pull this off. Running UME can be resolved with a single test, but in many cases such as this one, we need to take care of some preliminary goals before we tackle the main issue. We've got to gather the spirit cats, then cast Glamour. Okay, so here we go. This is what you would be writing as your challenge, as the guide. You have your objective, your tests, the type of test, the essences needed, and the consequences. Okay. If the cats are not all gathered, this Glamour spell becomes more difficult to cast as per its description. There it is. Okay. So the spells, there's some latitude to interpret how the spells are interfacing with the fiction around them. So this might be, and again, I don't know if these are going to actually be spell cards that come with this Kickstarter, if that's a thing. But if this Glamour spell is printed as is, and there is no modifying or changing this, then you would say, okay, well, you as the guide are determining what these conditions are, and you are as the guide are determining if they're satisfactory enough to not warrant you having to get those 4 essences. So, got it. I comprendo. More beautiful art. Yeah, running around chasing cats. Just like life. In this situation, we could each make a test to gather the cats before we are forced to cast our spell together. So again, we're asking open-ended questions. You're describing your actions. You're doing your things. Favorable. The cats continue to play. Yay. Completely invisible to our customers. That's good. There's a certain amount of spirit cat that you need in a cafe like this. Unfavorable. Spell fizzles and the cats continue to run wildly around the cafe, now completely tangible. The worst. Patrons stare in amazement. Some start playing with them. Oh, this is funny. Fortunately, the human mind is accustomed to pretending nothing is wrong, and no one really realizes how extraordinary the event is. The countdown to a magical incident goes from 4 to 3. When it reaches 0, the next moment we play will be a magical incident. Oh, okay. That's cool. Seth, I am in no way comprehensible at 3 times speed. I've listened to myself in 2 times speed, and I'm like, what did I just say? Welcome in. Good to see you. Yeah, we're having a good time with this so far. I am. I assume somebody else is. But this is good. Okay, so when you fail a UME test, you're basically advancing a clock, which is going to be when the next magical incident comes up. So, cool. Examples. Skipping those. More beautiful art. This is so cool. Like, why? Why is there a glowing cat rune on her left hand? That's good. That's good world building and art because it makes me ask questions. An ending and a new beginning. We're getting close to the edge there. 5 pages to go. Ending and a new beginning. Our first day has ended. This whole thing was the first day. That's impressive. I'm definitely comprehensible at 2x. Good. Glad to hear it. Very glad. I do have to be conscientious because I can mumble. So I try to enunciate, but I probably mumble worse when I'm excited or talking quickly. One way or another, our first day has ended. Let's reflect. Okay, this is going to be fun because we're going to do some sort of progression here, aren't we? You're going to answer questions like you would in like a PBTA. What trait was crucial during this day? Are the events sufficient to justify its transformation? If so, how would we like to rewrite it? Oh. Okay. I'm assuming that's optional, that you can either like rank it up or you can change it entirely. Which essence would each witch like to begin studying? How will they go ahead with learning, I suppose, supposed to say, more about it with books? Which ones? With a mentor who, or on their own how? Every creature, magical or not, has dreams and hopes for the future. By pursuing our dreams alongside the people we meet on our path, we, as members of this newly formed coven, will someday manifest the fount's true beauty and realize ourselves, capital R, realize ourselves as witches, learning more and more about the magical world and ourselves along the way. It's reminding me of a journaling RPG I picked up last year called Last Sabbath, also about a coven of witches involving the call. This is much more rules heavy and lighthearted. Interesting. Yeah. Journaling RPGs are always good for a downtime, kind of like chill moments. Well, this is great. What can you expect in the full game? So that was it. That's the end. We skipped all the actual examples of play. But I think we got the gist. The full game is going to have questionnaires for writing your witches. Tips, suggestions, and examples. Okay. Low prep procedures for alternating moments during the days. Low prep. I love low prep. Low prep and emergent. That's a space I like to be in. Creating different moments through the days. Unique experiences. Playable moments. Advice on how to create new ones. Suggestions, examples, mediums. Yeah. This is the part I would be most excited about. The rest of this is all great. This is the Legend in the Mist. This is why Legend in the Mist is 600 pages long. Because it's just got chapter after chapter of very thorough examples to help you get how that game is supposed to play. But what I'm interested in is kind of a little bit of the crunch here with the different ingredients and what other things you could do with beverages beyond just appealing to mediums. I'm sure there's a lot more to it that'll come out. So that's pretty neat. Procedures for detailing your witch's path to capital R realization, developing their traits day by day. Yeah, awesome. So there is going to be, it doesn't say it explicitly here, but it's kind of assumed that you do have a progression. I'll pull up a character sheet here in a second. Quick start, backer kit. Great. Love it. Let's pull up a character sheet. There you go. Such a vibe of a character sheet. And it's kind of got this like trifold thing going on to it. So that's actually neat. I haven't seen that. Not that I've seen everything in the world, but okay, see you, Hippo. Thanks for hanging out. Yep, we got to the end, so you got the full scope of pumpkin spice. Have a good game. I'll talk to you later. This is neat though, the idea of having a character sheet that's a trifold. Just easily carryable. But anyway, so this is a reference. Spells that you've used or create. That's cool. Player name. And then just traits. I mean, this is really slim. I like it. You have just your character fluff stuff over here. Name, how you look, the witch you dream to be. Your main essence. I guess you only get one, I'm assuming. You pick like the one thing that you're super good at. Paths. Did that come up? I don't think this came up. Do we know what paths are? I'll have to maybe search that up. That might just be kind of like your goals as a character. But yeah, the traits seem to be kind of fill in the blank. You're the life of the party. You're familiar, is charismatic. The reason you study magic, what your magic is, your mundane feature. This is cool. I like that. Have a mundane feature, and how others see you. That's nice. And then you can rank these up in different ways, and then when you feel like they apply, then you use them. I like it. I think it's cool. I think it's a cool looking game, and I probably would have just looked at this from a distance and backed it and been like, oh, cool. But since I've gotten some support, I actually have fund money a little bit to go a little distance, so I'm very likely to back this when it goes up on Tuesday. Just think it seems like a good time. Seems like a good time. So that about does it, I guess. We're kind of right at the hour mark, which is perfect. Didn't really know how today was going to go and ended up doing an entire first look on a quick start. So apparently I've got that skill set down. Yeah, it does go live Tuesday the 17th. The one thing I didn't do today that I was going to do with you guys was to talk about what I might do on my birthday stream, which is tomorrow. And I don't know. I don't know what I'll do. I guess I don't know for sure that I will stream. I kind of assumed I would. But if there's anything you want to see or you want to hear about or you want to know about, or if I can get all the, I don't know, we'll see. Yeah, instantly backing it. They do have like a lot of backing stuff. You know, if you pledge I think it's €1. If you pledge €1 now, then you're eligible for extra bonuses. But I did today too. I did it today. I was like, I got some tips last time, so I'm gonna use them. So that was fun. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be fun. If nothing else, like that's whatever art they put in the final version. That's gonna be a beautiful art book. So we're all on the bandwagon. Yeah, if there was ever gonna be a game that the London Station channel picked up and loved, it's gonna be a cozy witch cafe. You're not a dumb American. Jeez. It'll be okay to link the VOD on the Acheron Discord. Yeah, I was thinking I might want to trim out the first section though and actually redo the thumbnail and re-upload it. So maybe give me a little bit of time to do that this afternoon, because I'm gonna have to learn more skills on the fly. Because I didn't expect to give it such a thorough reading, and I think it's worth trimming off. I mean, no harm in putting it there now if you want, Thaddeus. That's fine with me. I don't have anything to hide as I talk about crying in my streams and how everybody's gonna have to get used to that if I do that. Didn't happen yet though, not yet. But yeah, I don't shy away from being passionate about things. Well, cool. It's been a great stream. Thank you guys for being so involved in chat and giving me things to bounce off of. That always makes it easy. I say always. This is literally my second stream ever. Man, it's mind-blowing that the word exposure is even coming up. And that's cool. I don't know what I expected. Like, clearly, if I'm going to talk about a game that's launching and has people interested in it, then other people might be interested to see what I think about that game. But, like, I thought that might come, like, weeks or months down the road when I was doing anything of actual value. So, yeah, that'd be neat. Again, I don't need to catch everybody in the world, but I do want to be known as a place that you can come and be yourself and be accepted, and all the other fluffy stuff I said in the first stream. So, yeah, I appreciate that, Thaddeus. I'll let you know how that comes. I'll probably just start working on that now because I got to learn how to do it. You cannot hide. I'm not trying to hide. I'm just was not prepared for the E word to come up. It's cool. That's cool. So, yeah, thank you guys. I never even changed my little, see, look at this. I never even changed this little text banner down here. This right here, I should have changed to say pumpkin spice first look. But whatever. This is what happens when you pivot midstream. It's been a great time. I appreciate you all being around. Love you all so much. Again, if you're not plugged into all of the links that are in the thing, I'm posting on Blue Sky because that's what people do, I guess. We have a Patreon that links to our Discord community, and I'm not trying to gouge anybody with that. You can come in for $1 and you get access to one channel, and that's where people will come and say hi and be nice to you. You can get in for $3 and have access to pretty much everything. So that's $3 a month. And just get around the people that get around me. And by that, I mean people that are of a similar, mindset, community building, encouraging, uplifting each other, being a safe and secure digital third space, and loving on each other and having a good time while we're doing it. So that is out there. There's probably other things that people say at the end of streams, like, subscribe, do the tech stuff, whatever. But I'm going to leave it there, sign off, and I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your Sunday. If you're not working tomorrow, awesome. Enjoy the day off and the long weekend. If you are working tomorrow, I'm sorry. And it's my birthday tomorrow, so we'll see. We'll see what my birthday brings for me. Take care, guys. I will see you later. Have a great rest of your day. Love you all, and goodbye.